Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Lighting Your Sunshine, where we like to shine a light within and empower ourselves. So today we're going to do pick a card reading, not pick a card, pick a cup reading. We're going to do cards and tea leaf reading. And yeah, so based on, I guess, the cover photo, take your choice. We've got the flower in group 1, or we've got the blue cup with the birds. And so when I asked, sorry, I spilled tea. I spilled the tea already. When I asked what cards to use, when I looked into my mind's eye, I saw black with like white lines. And so this is the only one that kind of makes the most sense, is the web. Whoa, I never even looked at that, but look at all those white lines. All right, that's what I saw. So we've got the sacred web to clarify. So yeah, just go within and see which one you're drawn to, and then pick the timestamp below. Hi, Cup 1. So I already tried to start your reading, but my storage was full, so we're just going to start from scratch. We're going to start from the beginning. I've already drank the cup. I turned it over, and I did get a couple insights to share before, and I pulled a couple cards while the cup was settling, just to kind of get the overall reading. So the message for you, as I was kind of looking into the cup, the very first thing that I heard very loud and clear was spring fling. It came in the shape of a heart in this little leaf. And then as I looked at that, I looked to the left, and there was this huge drop of water. And when the drop of water landed, it turned into the actual shape of a tear. And it was so clear, and on a tiny smidge of it, there was like this pink iridescence shining through. And so I got that there's still sadness from the past that you're working through. And it looks like you've done most of like the hard part, the dirty work, that things are clear, that you're so ready to almost move on, to like release and let it go. But there is a need to find the compassion in the situation, right? Because you don't want to end it off on bad terms, so that when you look back on that memory, it will grind your gears and upset you every single time again. So when you find the compassion of why it all happened, it will be easier to release and let go. And then from there, as I was doing that, this blue, orange, and brown bird kind of came to the surface. So I'm not really sure what kind of bird that would be. I don't know if a bird even has all those feather color combinations together. It was very pretty, but it was just standing on the perch, and it was just resting and relaxing. And then so from there, the heart came back up, and it kind of showed it that on the feminine and masculine side. On the masculine side, it seems that your energy has kind of taken a hit. And then from that hit, it showed that you're very cautious now, that you're very scared to like go forward or make the same mistakes that you did in the past. And what's funny, as I was doing the reading previously, I heard one time. It happened only one time. And so what I got from this group is that this group is someone whose energy, like when they want something, when they think something, when they believe something, they go out for it and they get it. They make it happen. That they're very lucky in, just heard lucky in love, lucky in manifestation, like in all areas of life. And so maybe a little bit of ego kind of built up in that. And I feel like that's the part of the masculine that got a little bit of ego blow, because I feel like this energy went out to go do something, and it didn't work out. And so now I'm seeing caution, being kind of nervous to try again, to go back out. And that's what Spirit said, was like, it was only one time. That's why you need to find the compassion in this, because how you were before in that state, how you could naturally make anything happen, whatever you believed in yourself and all your goals. And so they always happened. And so that's your true natural state. The only thing that they said was maybe a little bit of the ego built up too much. And so, right, if there was no ego on that, it wouldn't have really got bruised. So then that's the only insights that I got. And then when I pulled cards, we pulled 5 of them. And so I find this deck difficult. When I asked them, I don't know if I said this in the introduction or not, but I was like, what deck of cards? And I saw black, and then I saw white. And then, yeah, I did say it. No, I did try another introduction, and that one didn't work. I don't know. I'm just talking. Just keep working through it. And so I saw this. I saw the black deck, but when I was actually showing which deck I was going to use, I never actually saw this page. And look at all those white lines. So I find this hard because they're not labeled as to what they really are. You just need to know, like, is this an ace, or is it of the major arcana, or whatever? Is it the minor arcana? Is it cups? And so bear with me. Actually, I already worked through all those trials and tribulations for yours. Pile 2, I'll have more problems. So let's just go into them. So the first one that came out was the Seer of Earth. Okay, so I'll just show you all. We've got the Seer of Earth. We've got the 3 of Feathers with the Polar Bear. We've got the Crane with the Ace of Cups. We've got the Moon, giving off a little bit of illusions. And then we have the 8 of Feathers in reverse. And so I feel like, as it said, that the masculine energy took a hit. That's that confidence, that's that action and going out and making things happen. And so here, when we see the Seer of Earth, it wants to speak up. It wants to do something, but there's a bit of illusions. And so it went back to this, where I heard that spring fling. And there was like 2 situations that came through. It was totally blanking on me now because I was channeling in the moment. But in the first situation, it was like someone was in a relationship and they had gotten out of it, and they're not sure if they're ready to move on to the next one. And then they met someone, and now it's brought up all this confusion and things within, and lack of confidence and things like that. Or there's something that you met someone and it was just like a spring fling kind of happy energy, and you're not sure about that situation. Whatever it is, it's like you're being very cautious. You're not really speaking up to others and sharing your love or your heart because to do with that past, something to do with suppressed emotion. So here we have the moon, and the moon controls the tides and the waves and the oceans. And over here we have the earth, and the earth is trying so hard to not speak up, to shove all that emotion right back down. But it's not really going to work because I'm hearing the tide is high, but I'm holding on. And so I'm going to be your number 1. And then even in the last reading, it was like, it only happened 1 time. So something to do with 1. It's like, maybe it will unfold in the cup. So here we have the 3 of Feathers with the polar bear. And the polar bear is very, very isolated. And so there's something that happened in your past that I really feel like it was like, you were like, I'm unstoppable. I can do anything, blah, 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 blah. And then it took a hit. And that really hurt your ego. And so now your ego is scared to get up and try or be a part of something again. And so in the last one, it said you really need to find the compassion of the situation, or you'll have ended that on bad terms. That memory will be so sharp. Because the main thing about the masculine energy, a heart came back, and it was just the corner, right? It was just rounded. It needed a little bit of smoothing. And so if you don't find the compassion in that energy, it will always be sharp. It will always hurt you. And you won't be able to go on to the second one. Because 1 seems to be a thing here. Which, this Ace of Cups, I started to read in the book. And there's that 1. So let's read that. Because I actually did find a lot of synchronicities in here. And then it was like, storage full. And they kicked me out. And I said, fine. Do whatever. So air, where are we at, cups? Okay, we're into water now. Okay, so this card represents beauty. It says, I, like the 1,000-petaled lotus, you open up to the pure potential that blooms within. Gaze into the lotus cup. And I was like, hey, gaze into the cup. That's what we're doing, cup readings. Allow your intuition to guide you through the realm of your emotions. Notice how you feel when you begin to let that wise, interior voice lead the way. Is there a place within where you can feel the resonance of yes? Can you begin to find more room in your heart for love? Ask yourself how you might begin to infuse love into everything that you create. Remember that true beauty springs from the compassionate heart. Let empathy shepherd you through the sacred spiral of your embodiment. What gifts of yours are you ready to bloom into the world? And then at the bottom here, it said, true beauty springs from my compassionate heart. And I was like, whoa, true beauty springs from my compassionate heart. We got spring fling. And then it said in that teardrop that you need to find compassion. So, true beauty springs from my compassionate heart. What gifts of yours are ready to bloom into the world? And you know that whatever you do always works out for you. Again, it was just one time, Spirit said. And so here we have the 8 of feathers, and that's that feeling trapped and confined and things like that. That like your heart is just wanting more because it's used to more. I'm feeling like a lack at this little phase, and Spirit's saying you can't suppress that emotion. This moon is going to pull it up and out of you no matter what, and you control how it comes out. Does it come out in a burst of emotion, or will it come out nice and smooth? And so with that teardrop, I saw most of the work has been done, right? All the nitty gritty, all the dirt and cloudiness and all that, you've already worked through that. You've done the shadow work. Now it's just that getting a little bit of confidence, building up that ego again. Ego, isn't ego bad? Yeah, but sometimes the ego is there, right? We build our ego when we're kind of in survival mode, when we have things that we need to protect ourselves from the outside. And it seems like in the past, maybe you're on a victory streak without someone really checking you to make sure that you were staying in balance. And so when we kind of get into that, we start to think we're invincible. We don't notice that we're becoming unbalanced. And so that's where I'm seeing this. It's like it just melted and it shortened and shortened and shortened and shortened. And it's like you look around and you're like, ooh, like what happened to all the ice? Now it's all water, and all this water is emotion that we need to work through. And so this is freeing yourself from that, working on the ego in a healthy way, right? And I don't think you could ever just like abolish your ego 100%. It's always going to come up some way. So I think it's best just to kind of like navigate and keep it in line, right? It's that balance, that status quo. So I feel like that's good for the cards. Let's get into the cup reading now. Okay. So first thing that I'm noticing is it's really, as it said, you've worked through so much of this already, which I find it has probably been a very tough process for you, because it is so hard for you to let things go. And so that's what they're kind of showing first, is they're showing me your house and the need to declutter and let some things go. Things that hold old memories that you just don't need to hold on to anymore. You've grown past that. So now I'm seeing like a bee, a busy bee. But it's funny because this busy bee is a huge, massive bee. It's kind of like got a little extra spare tire on it, and it seems to be kind of like lethargic, and it's kind of like pulling it down, and it's not flying or buzzing as high as it used to. And so that's what they're showing now. It's almost showing like dad bod or something like that. So as it said, let me see here. Masculine energy took a hit. So in the ego, when you were on your up and up, and when that happened, it kind of, I'm seeing someone, it took a blow, and he kind of went within or underground or something, hibernated, and just kind of, I'm seeing stocked up and fueled, right? Hibernation, that's what they do at night, winter time. It just seems like the timing of all this, in a normal cycle or phase, they're saying that would have been okay, right? Because then you use all your fat stores over winter. Like, I'm just seeing a bear right now. Hey, a bear. There's a bear. And then by the spring, you can go out and get more food. But for this, I'm seeing it in the bee, and this is the active time. It just seems like the cycles or the energies when things should be swift, things should be buzzing, aren't really buzzing. It seems like slow and low. And so now we need to get that power, that action energy kind of back. They're saying be very careful with what you consume. I see that okay, this is for some. I see some people not eating healthy. I see people avoiding their emotions and eating food instead. And that's why they're feeling a little bit heavier, because they're not processing the emotions. It's not really the food that you eat that is like the heaviness. It's the emotions that are heavy. And because you feel that inside, the outside needs to match the inside. And so it's a cycle, it's a rut. And then I'm seeing, yeah, we'll just leave that. Let's move on. And with that, it's like the body gets like slower, gets tired, and then things don't seem to work as well, right? Your digestion's having a harder time, trying to process all this, right? Your body's trying to let go of the toxins, and it's just, I'm seeing that the timing of this has been switched. And it's interesting. So when I saw the spring fling, I was like, well, we're in summer, so they obviously know who or what this is all about. But with that being said, that they don't know that the seasons or timings have flipped. It's like their body's running on the opposite clock. It's almost like jet lag or something like that. And maybe something comes into that. It said you mostly know. It's like my phone cut off again, so I don't remember what I was talking about, but I'm pretty sure the message got through. So as I'm looking back at this, there is a need to declutter, a need to de-stress, and especially de-stress. I can't stress this enough, because it's like you've done everything. The only thing that seems to be hindering the forward process, or the switching, the healing that one, smoothing that one energy, and having a little bit more of that confidence to take action, is it seems to be that there's a lot of toxins or garbage kind of needing to be released. And I don't know why I'm saying that, because as I saw the water, I was like, you've already dealt with most of the shadow work, you've done with most of that stuff. But it seems like I'm hearing emotionally, yes. What? It just said that you needed to deal with the emotions, to speak up with the emotions. They say like half of it. You haven't done the compassionate part of it yet. Okay. But because as it said, the heaviness on the inside reflects the outside. And so I see someone like just food-wise or health-wise not feeling the greatest, being tired all the time, right? We're in this bee season, we have to get active, and they're just tired. And it seems like, just be careful not to bring in a lot of energetic garbage, they say. Because I did see a fly, and this house fly, it just kind of showed me, you know how they're always buzzing around and attracted to garbage. And I saw that mostly as food and what you take in, because that you're taking in is the match of how it feels with all that heaviness suppressed. I feel like mentally you understand why most of it happened. There's no ill will. It's just that confidence in yourself to take action again. I keep hearing Ross from Friends, like, it was one time, we were on a break. Like, I don't know why that is coming up. But mostly I keep hearing him, as that's what the guides keep using, like, it was one time. And so in that one, it seemed like right in Friends, it was like he went and hooked up with someone outside of the relationship when they were on a break. Was it a break? I don't know. But that's not what I'm getting here. I'm not really getting that kind of stuff. What I'm getting is that this pile or cup had a lot of luck. And then they thought they became a little bit invincible, and so needing to reel that back in, because one thing kind of came, made them understand, like, oh, I'm not the exception, that I do need to live a balanced life. So let's go back in here. Okay. I'm seeing three joints. No, I see 2 joints. And what's this third thing? I don't know. It is just saying, like, be attention of what you take in, because there's this need to let this emotions go. So if you are someone who likes to light up and smoke, that's kind of you numbing things and not dealing with it, and you're like, oh, I'll deal with it tomorrow, I'll feel it tomorrow, I don't want to deal with this right now. And all it really does, it just has to be felt. And once you feel it, I feel like there's this brain and this mind, heart sync up, and it has this release moment. I'm seeing an ice cream cone, but I'm also seeing it at like nighttime. Just like at the end of the day, like sitting on the porch eating ice cream and just enjoying. Like, I see someone, I feel like that there is a lot of something to do with like weight or heaviness or energetic fog. And so people relating it to food, and spirit saying, yes, pay attention to like what you do consume. But the main thing is like, what energy are you taking in? What energy are you suppressing and holding down? How can you heal that, right? Like, there's just people who, have done such awful habits their whole lives and had perfect health. And like, why doesn't that affect them? And then you could have perfectly healthy people and then they get sickness. Like, it doesn't make sense that those who are so strict on a regimen get sick. And that's what they're kind of showing me, is like this ice cream. I see someone like punishing themselves for wanting ice cream, but they're saying, if you could sit on the back deck and actually just be at peace and like eat your ice cream and watch the sunset, like live while you're doing it, that's a different energy. I feel like with this compassion of the past situation, they're showing now as that ice cream, sunsets, things like that, a part of understanding that compassion and like having compassion for the past and not being like, I hate you. It's gonna like understand where you are now and be grateful for what you are and doing now, who you are, who you've become. Because I see that the masculine energy took a blow, and it's now isolated itself, and it's used to feel trapped, but it's coming back. It's starting to feel a little bit more confident again. And then that's because of this moon. This moon is going to pull it up and out of you no matter what. And here we have like the crab there. And the crab, Cancer, it's Cancer season right now. And it's going to pull the emotions out of you, if you like it or not. And so when it comes time to release, just let it flow, and make sure that you're in an empowered state as you do it. Because I keep seeing that bee, right? It was like a really big bumblebee, and he was like, I'm going, and it didn't even have like enough energy to like barely maintain it, barely above ground, and that took so much. And it was supposed to go to even higher heights, right? The flowers are in bloom. Yeah. So this pile, mostly it's talking about releasing sadness from the past so that you can enjoy the moment now, and not letting food or outside sources or whatever it is that's your distraction, where you could not feel your feelings, where you stop thinking, and just live in the moment and appreciate the moment, no matter what the moment brings to you. And not shaming or guilting yourself or being so strict on yourself, because the more and more we keep holding this you're not good enough energy or something, you might cause sickness. So be nice to yourself, love yourself, appreciate the lessons, let go of the sadness, and embrace the new compassion that comes forward with it. Because before I see someone like being like, I can do anything, I'm invincible, and it might have started to think I'm better than you, or, oh, I don't have to follow the rules, right? Rules don't apply to me. And then karma kind of coming in, humbling them. That's what it needed, humbling. And so this humbling is served best with a piece of pie and compassion. So we'll leave it there. I don't know where the pie came from. It's a piece of your history, they say. So we'll leave it there, pile 1/cup 1, and I hope you have a good day. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Hi, cup 2. This is your reading of tea leaf reading / tarot cards. And so I already drank the tea. I already turned it over. We're letting it settle. And as I was drinking it, I did write down some insights that I got from it. And then because I did pile 1, I already pulled the tarot cards, because the deck that I was drawn to use was the Sacred Web. They showed me a black book, and then in the back of it, I just saw black with like tons of stars or white lines. And so when I was doing like one of the intros, I saw the back and I was like, whoa, I didn't even notice that when I picked them. But I do know that this is the perfect cards to use for the reading. The only thing is they don't label them, so I pulled them already so that I can kind of not waste so much of your time just sitting me staring at the top of my head, be like, duh. So, oops, sorry. I'm sharing my chair today. I'm not comfortable. All right, so your insights, pile 1. So when I first started drinking it, on the top of it, when I held it, it started to like just kind of like change and transform. Now I'm hearing bippity boppity boo. So it started off as a hen, then it went to a duck, and then it turned to a flower pot, and then a butterfly. And from that, they started to show me gardening or a pond. So I don't know if that's kind of what I see. I see more of like a country setting, or I guess it doesn't have to be country setting. It could be like a community garden, can be just like a peaceful place with a pond. But I feel like that this is an important part. I'm almost seeing like going and like feeding ducks or something. It's not running water, it's definitely a pond, but I do see a garden. So that's the first thing that came through. And then as I was looking at that, there was like one thing that like really stuck out. Like there was just one thing that was huge, like a stick almost, compared to everything else. Everything else was just like little pieces or, lavender, whatnot. But then this one thing stuck out like a sore thumb. And from that, it like changed and transformed. And then it became like a witch riding a broom. And the broom was the thing that started to stick out, the stick. And then it showed the broom. The broom kind of looked like it was stuck up the witch's butt. So it said, what can you let go of that you don't need to take so seriously? Right? So you don't really want, I feel like that's it. It's like, what did they show? The witch. As it turned to the witch, it showed that you have secret talents or gifts that might be a little phenomenon, right? You might be psychic or intuitive or things that people dub as witchy. And they said that there was something about this. Like, I feel like you have such natural gifts intuitively, but you take it so seriously. It's like, I don't know, but whatever it is, Spirit said, it's almost like you have a stick shoved up your butt, and just to kind of like ease up a bit, like to have a little bit more fun or joy in life. Not that everything, like you need to study and you need to, be so serious. And then so from there, it brought me to a meadow. And in that meadow, I saw a campfire. and at the fire, just watching the stars. And then from there, it was like one of those shooting stars. You know, it's like the more you know, do 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 do, with like the rainbow behind it. And I heard that you have great achievements coming when you tap into your gifts. So we have 5 psychic senses, and I feel like you're very tapped into many of them, but you're afraid of it. And I think maybe that fear is kind of that stick. It's like not, I don't know, it's like once you embrace this part of yourself, things are gonna happen. Because there's so much here. Like I said, I saw like this homestead, I saw this garden, this like farm life, meadow, something to do with nature. Like you're so connected to nature that when you're in nature, like nature's not serious. It's more of like enjoying. I think there's that. So then the cards that came out were, as I said, I pulled the cards. I was like, I know most of them, but this one I'm all of a sudden blanking. This is the Magician. This is the Magician card. And it's in reverse. Because here, the Magician has all elements. Here we have air, water, earth, and whatever one I didn't say. And it's in reverse because that's you taking your talent and rejecting it. And it says once you kind of embrace that you can fly higher, you'll get off the ground. You're using the stick the wrong way, they say. So yeah, air, cups, pentacle, it's fire. Okay. Oh, even better. I was like, whatever one I couldn't say is the one that seems to be the one that is your most potent gift, they say, that you're like, you're scared of. You take it way too seriously. And so here we have 8 of Cups in reverse. 8 of Cups is all about an emotional experience and you walking away from it. So I feel like in the past, you were kind of tapping into your gifts and they were growing and they were thriving, and that it seems like things might have got a little too hot for you. Might have been a little intense, a little too powerful. And did you get burned? I don't know. But it kind of stopped you. It made you be like, no, like I can't do this. This is wrong. This is bad. This is something. And then denying that and shutting it down. But the next one that is the Source of Fire. And so I feel like, especially when it comes to fire is your passion, creativity. It's like, it's very destructive. I know personally how destructive fire can be, but you seem to be a very fiery person. So if you're not going to let this fire burn, I feel like it might explode. It might decide to become destructive, because when you let it out, when you work with it and you do all these things, you can kind of contain it. Okay, so now I'm being brought back as this one, all 4 elements, to the last airbender, right? He has to master them all, but fire is the last one that he works through, because once you let fire, right, you might think you understand fire, but to actually let it go out of control. So that's what I think maybe happened, is like you were learning your gifts or something. And normally I'm always like, you don't need to go do spell work and magic and whatever. You just be this powerful light being. You just have this powerful energy within you and you create the reality around you. But I feel like for you, it's a little bit of both. It's like you can easily do things because you have fire, as this one says, source of fire. And fire is creation. It's that spark, that life. But it is showing that it got destructive one time. And because of that destruction, it made you realize how serious it is to play with fire. And so the next one we have out is Seer of Water. And so that's that kind of balancing energy. The thing about water is also destructive, right? It will take the path of least resistance, but without having the proper, and I think that's why you do fire last. so that you have the other ones, right? Like if the fire is weak, you can add air to it and spark, right? Grow. But once it starts to kind of get overstimulated, like how can we reel it back in? And that's the hardest thing. In pile 1, it was like a little bit of like ego. Maybe something like that kind of is a good example. But the fire became so passionate that we didn't know how to contain it and bring it back in. So the seer of water. I'm seeing it mostly as, right, seer of water. Here she looks like she's crying, but I see like it's mostly the emotional or energy release. And so within you, I feel like you're very powerful when it comes to your talents and your skills. And you need to keep practicing. I'm getting hands, something to do with hands, like energy, like you can take or give, and so there is that balance within all. And I feel like the more and more fire that builds up within you, if you're not going to channel it into something, it might burn too hot within. So there is a need for you to learn to release this pent up fire. I want to read about this source of fire. Fire, fire, fire. Seer of water. I just heard London Bridge is falling down. Okay. The source of fire holds the pure force of creation in their hands. Hey, hands. A symbol of how you can bring light into the dark when you release all fear in devotion to your craft. Hey, did I not say that? Like, you gotta work on your skills because you're very powerful. Let me start again. I won't interrupt again. The source of fire holds the pure force of creation in their hands. A symbol of how you can bring light into the dark when you release all fear in devotion to your craft. They want you to have faith in the magical blaze of inspiration that comes from aligning your imagination with your soul's purpose. In the source of fire, the alchemy of your inner fire and your inner wisdom burn away the debris and clutter and noises of external worlds, the shame, the blame, the grief that you might be holding on to. The source of fire creates more space for the poetry of your soul to sing. Let your fire empower you to realize your dreams, for they contain within them the treasured secrets of your heart. Throughout the transcendent flames of your own ignition, you are transformed. So the words are, through the alchemy of my inner fire and inner wisdom, I am transformed. And so as I read that, I just realized, and I feel it now, that there's a lot of people who watched Pile 1 who just watched this. And I like watching your stories just to watch your stories. And so I want to say thank you. But I feel like that's because in Pile 1, it was all about needing to clear debris and clutter. That was all more in the home and whatnot. But that's just quick and brief for those who watch Pile 1. Back to this one. As it said, I feel like there's something to do with your hands that you need to go do something. As I saw that witch, she was sitting there holding her broom. Use that broom to sweep away the cobwebs and let that spark. As it said, it was creation and it has to do with like magic. You're very talented at bending the elements to work through you. And that's it. It's like you don't have to control things outside of yourself, but when you let things flow within yourself and you put it through your purpose, as that said, it's like your passion through your purpose, you pew, 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 you're a powerful person. And so the last one that we have here is the Two of Pentacles, and it was in reverse. So Two of Pentacles is all about balance. And so here's that balance with fire and water. But you want to know what? I want to know what bird this is because it kind of looks like the bird that is on the card. And so Pentacles, I believe, should be... Nope. Where are you at, Pentacles? Just want to know what bird you are. There it is. This is an egret. I never heard of them. Egret. All right, I'm gonna go look into that later. Not right now. But that's pretty much it. Is like, I feel like you've got this wicked talent, and your talent is going to make you very successful in whatever it is that you are going to manifest or do. You give off kind of a witchy vibe, and I feel like that's where the seriousness comes from, because in past lives that people have been executed, right, for just being talented. And I feel like your natural talent is something to do with combined with nature and talent and healing. But mostly I feel that there's so much fire energy within you that it does need to be balanced. Because I'm seeing it like turn, like, right, you're mostly water. But as you get too hot, I see that water kind of turning to steam. And you do need the water for your muscles, right? For your mental clarity, things like that. So there's a need to learn to channel this pure, potent source that you have within you for really cool things. So enough of that. Let's, ooh, see? Yeah, in the first reading, they held on to so much. Like, you let things go. I think let it go, which is snow and fire. I feel like once you kind of like thaw out and you kind of like step into it and you like even try, it's gonna flow really quick. So first thing I saw was a rainbow or a bridge, which is funny because I said London Bridge is falling down, but I see it mostly as a rainbow. It's like, oh, you're a little medium. You are a medium too. And so that's what that bridge is. That bridge is like connecting from the 3D world to the veiled world that many people can't quite see through, but you do. But what I see is like both sides are very stable and sturdy, but right in the middle, it seems to be a little bit, I don't know. It's like one of those like boards that you're like, should I step on it? It's a bit sketchy. That's what it is. So there is a need to kind of like temper or strengthen that. There's so much activity up. You have a lot of angels. You got a couple demons haunting you. And that's, yeah. I don't know. I see a lot of activity, to be honest. Yeah, your angels are so extremely active. You have a very creative mind, especially when it comes to things like storytelling and sports. You're very naturally gifted at sports. I'm seeing that. And then I do see lots of like fighting and conflict though. And what's interesting is I was like, you got a little bit of demons, but it's not the demons that I see fighting. I see it mostly as the angels. They said it's not fighting, it's defending. So what are we defending? I see it as the air or the aura around you. It seems like outside of you energetically, there seems to be a lot going on that you're unaware of, because you're not really working on your gifts, doing those things. But I feel like you've got so much, I don't know. It's almost like, what show is that? It's like any cartoon where there's like, okay, Who Framed Roger Rabbit is coming to my mind at the beginning when they have the baby, and like how he just wants that jar of cookies. And as he's going through the kitchen and he's going through like the drawer of knives and like, you know, across the stove and the fire's burning hot. Hey, there's the fire. And he goes through the dishes and there's like all these accidents and like things happening, but he's unfazed. That's kind of what I'm getting. I'm getting like a huge, strong protection around you. So it's like saying, if you are worried about external things, it's like your guides have already cleared that path. Your path is clear. That's what they're saying. So I feel like you think you got to put all these little fires out, but it's only the fire within that you have to deal with, and it's to burn the path forward. Just keep going forward, they say. Now I see that bridge as like a toll bridge, and you're like a boat going down the river, right? The Sierra of water. You've got balanced. You're going, and it looks like it's closed or it's blocked off, and now the guides are saying like, we're clearing a way for you. We're making sure that you can pass through safely. Like, most of it's just to know that you're safe. And so, as this said, don't take things so seriously, because I feel like your guides and angels and everything have already done the hard part, the battle. And so you don't need to battle. You just need to harness. And yeah. So what else are we looking at here? I keep seeing sports or something like that. Like I see like a relay race, or passing the baton, or running, or maybe they're playing basketball. I see like something to do with running and a whole bunch of people. They both tend to be going in this direction. Over here, I see more like fencing. Oh, like that American Gladiator show, and they beat each other with those big pole things. Mountain climbing. And then what's going on right here? Okay, so I see it as Mount Everest. I see people climbing Mount Everest. And then it's not really Mount Everest, it's actually quite a tiny mountain. But once they get to the top, I see that others have gone and they've fallen. And it was bad. But it's saying like, don't worry about, because other people couldn't do it. And that's why I think you take it so serious, because other people are like, because you stick out like a sore thumb. That's what they showed. They showed like, it's almost like I see like when you were in school, like maybe you were like the tallest person, right? Any school photo, it'd be like here, but you were like way up here. And it's like you didn't want to get noticed. That's the energy that's kind of being like, it's okay for you to be noticed for your gifts, your talents, and for your looks. I don't know. Let's pour this water over here. Okay, I don't know if I can quite hold this up, but can you see? It almost looks like a flower. It's like you've blossomed and you've grown into... Every flower is unique and beautiful. So just really, really believe in yourself, Spirit's saying. Because what I get from most of these, like all these things where like, I climb mountains and I fight people and I run and I'm exhausted, and it's all like this fiery energy. You've got so much fire energy in you. How are you going to utilize it and maintain it? It's like, don't be so serious about it. I feel like when a whim comes and it's like, you know, what am I seeing? They're showing me someone gets so built up with energy that they just need to yell. I need to get something out, or go for a run, or whatever it is. Knowing now, because like I keep seeing like this really tall giant kid, and because that's what it showed, because the one was stick was just so much bigger than everything else. And it's saying like, yes, you stood out as a kid, but now as an adult, you kind of blend in with everyone. Like no one's really looking at you. It's that insecurity of the past. And so now you're allowed to like channel. No one's watching you. They're not. I do feel like people are like, oh, you can't do that. But maybe it's just like naysayers outside of yourself. But to actually like scrutinize your journey and your process, no one's really looking at that. Everyone's looking at themselves. And so they're saying, have confidence in yourself and harness that source again. Because I feel like you went off and it burned way too bright. And so now you have that emotions covered, the water. So you are prepared for no matter what direction or action or event happens, with what you do with this fire of creation within you. Your heart is powerful. And so just go out there and do your thing. So we'll leave it there. I hope you guys have a good day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.